What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my spin on a Trini macaroni pie. Now this video is being sponsored by Guyanese Imports. If you want to buy any of these ingredients, head on over to buyeasy.com and you can purchase these macaroni noodles as well as the evaporated milk to put your macaroni pie together. So for this recipe, we're going to need one package of the noodles, a can of evaporated milk, some regular whole milk, some sharp cheddar cheese. You can use whatever type you want. Some people like the New Zealand cheddar, Trini cheese, or you could use any type of sharp tasting cheese. I also have 2 eggs, some chopped pimento peppers and chopped garlic, some butter, as well as some salt and pepper. I also wanted to mention that if you wanted to, you can add in some hot pepper in addition to those pimento peppers. I didn't add any in today because I was making this for guests and some of my guests did not like pepper, so that's why I left it out. Okay guys, so the first step when making this macaroni pie is to go ahead and boil your macaroni noodles. Now what I really love about these noodles is that they have that hole running through the middle of them. So it's basically like spaghetti with the hole running through. And it's honestly amazing because those holes really soak up that cheesy sauce really well. So I went ahead and I boiled it as per the package directions. And after you boil it, we're going to go ahead and put together the rest of this macaroni pie. So before we get into mixing everything together, I wanted to mention that when I boiled the noodles, I boiled it in some salted water. That's just to start building up the flavor in the dish. That's why I do it that way. Also, once you boil your noodles and you strain them really well, you're going to pour them into a bowl and then you're going to add in your butter, you're going to add in your finely chopped pimento peppers as well as the finely chopped garlic. Now, these are the ingredients that I like to add. If there's any other seasonings that you prefer to add into your macaroni pie, such as hot pepper, a little bit of cilantro, some scallions, maybe some onion, feel free to add those in. I'm just giving you guys a basic recipe and you guys can tweak it as per your taste and your preferences. So once you add those 3 ingredients in, you're going to toss it up really well with your spoon. You can also use a pair of tongs if that's a little better and easier for you to manage. But you're basically going to turn it up until all of the butter melts. Once you mix the noodles with the butter, the pimento peppers, as well as the chopped garlic, it's time to work on the milk mixture that's going to create the sauce of this macaroni pie. So in my bowl here, I have my whole milk, and I'm going in with all of my evaporated milk now. Now, if you didn't want to use evaporated milk, you could use all whole milk for this. If you didn't want to use whole milk and you just wanted to use the evaporated milk, feel free to switch it around. There's no rhyme or rhythm to this. This recipe is very, very forgiving. I'm also going in with my 2 eggs that I cracked, and I'm going in with a good amount of black pepper because I really want that flavor, and I'm going in with a good pinch of salt or salt to taste. Now remember, we salted the noodles as we were boiling them, so you want to be mindful of that, and then when you add salt in here, you're going to average the amount of salt that you would like to have in your dish. So after you've whisked up that milk mixture really well and gotten all of the ingredients incorporated, it's time to really finalize this mixture for the macaroni pie. So in my bowl, where I had the noodles that was already mixed with those pimento peppers, the garlic, and the butter, I've added in all of my sharp cheddar cheese. Now with this dish, you do not want to be skimpy with the cheese because nobody really likes a super dry macaroni pie. I don't want it to be too loose and too saucy, but you want it to have some moisture so it doesn't just taste really dry. So you're going to go in and add all of your cheese on top of the noodles just to start melting it a little bit, and you want to mix it up very well. So once you've gone ahead and mixed the macaroni up with the cheese really well and it's well incorporated, it's time to go in with all of your milk mixture. Now just like I said with the cheese, you want to be mindful of the milk mixture and add a good amount of it. You basically want to put in the amount that I tell you to put in with my measurements because you want a nice creamy macaroni pie. You do not want it to be super, super dry. So once you go ahead and add that milk mixture in, you're going to toss it up really well until everything's well combined. And then I'm going to show you guys how to bake it. Now, a quick word about this mixture. If you find that it is way too dry, feel free to tweak it any which way. You can go in with a little bit more milk, you can go in with a little bit more evaporated milk. If you feel like you want more cheese in there, feel free to add in more cheese. I'm telling you, this recipe is so forgiving, it's not going to come out bad whichever way you play with it. So mix this up really well and we're going to move on to the baking process. So I went ahead and I took 2 baking dishes because I was making a large amount of macaroni pie. I poured my mixture evenly in between the 2 dishes and then I topped it with a good amount of cheese. Again, I keep repeating myself, but make sure to add a good amount of cheese because you do not want it to be too dry. So As you guys can see, I made a lot of macaroni pie, but in the beginning of the video, I only showed one package of the macaroni. The recipe that I'm going to be leaving in the description box for you guys is just for that one package of macaroni. The reason why it looks to be so much is because I did use 2 packs, so I was doubling my recipe because I made this for guests on this day, so I needed a good amount of it. But basically what we're going to do right now is take the macaroni pie and we're going to go ahead and pop it into our oven that's been preheated to 375 degrees. We're going to throw it in there for about 20 to 25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes depending on your oven, and you're basically going to cook it until it's very, very bubbly and brown on top. Alright guys, so here's my macaroni pie fresh out of the oven. As you guys can see, it has a beautiful golden brown crust on the top. That's the reason why I like to add cheese on the top as well, because it gets nice and melty and gooey. And basically when it came out of the oven, all of the sides were bubbling up as well because of all the liquid in there. That's exactly what you want. So whenever I have macaroni pie, I like to let it sit until it's just warm. So allow it to cool down until it's not piping hot anymore, and then you can cut into it. If you cut into it while it's very, very hot, it's going to fall apart on you and be too creamy. So I recommend letting it sit until it's warm. But by all means, if you like a very, very hot macaroni pie, go ahead and slice into it right away. You're just not going to get the perfect slices. So once this cools down, I'm going to show you guys what it looks like, and it's going to be ready to serve. Alright guys, so after I let my macaroni pie cool down to where I could get some clean cuts, I cut it and it was ready to serve. Now if you look in the middle, it's nice and creamy and the flavor was just perfect with the garlic and those pimento peppers alone. But if you wanted to add something else, feel free to do so as well. Now, some things that you could serve with this macaroni pie, besides being great by itself, you can also serve it along my homemade jerk chicken that I had also done a video for a little while ago. You can also serve this delicious macaroni pie with some of my homemade boneless beef curry as well. Now, you might be thinking that curry and macaroni pie don't go together, but you'd be surprised. It goes together really well. Being that I don't eat beef, I just cook it sometimes. I've eaten it with chicken curry before and it tastes amazing as well. Now, if you didn't want to have it with jerk chicken or curry, you could also have it with some cashew chicken or any type of stewed chicken, or even like stewed goat or any type of hearty meat like that that's stewed would really go well with the macaroni pie. And besides all of these delicious things as well, you could even have it with a piece of fried fish. The possibilities are really endless, guys. So whatever way you swing it, I hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and give it a nice big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed yet, and leave those beautiful comments down below. I'll see you guys again very soon in my next video. Bye everyone.